Hello everybody, Wild Chevy here again, and I'm with Anton from Fantasy Flight Games. It's been a long day.
I don't know where I am. I don't know who this guy is. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
It is Saturday at GenCon, and I'm Anton with Fantasy Flight Games, I think.
Now, when you come to GenCon,
yeah,
the one thing you notice is the FFG booth. It is immense. It's huge, and there's always a big line the first day.
Sure. So what Fantasy Flight does with our booth at GenCon, with our presence, is really try and show off as much as we possibly can. We are hard at work all year round. I mean, there are announcements that we have every single month of the year. But GenCon for us is a very special time. It's the time when we send most of our offices to Indianapolis to actually give demos, to speak to you, right? To actually share what it is that we've been working on for so long, and like sharing the enthusiasm, because this room is all about people who game and things that are related to gaming, and it's infectious. So there's a ton of energy. And FFG's booth has a retail area, and then is primarily demo space. There's no tickets here.
Yeah, we're standing right here in the center, and it's just wall-to-wall demo tables.
Yes, we got dozens of demo tables. So we are demoing games that are new, that are not new, just things that we think would be exciting for someone who has never seen to sit down and give a try. And then staff members, art directors, game designers, sales staff, are actually going to teach you the game and get you started. So that's that. Among the things that we are demoing, another thing GenCon allows is for us to show off newly announced games. So these are games that aren't even available, even if you wanted them to be. Things that will be released later in the year and sometimes even early 2015. So just as an example, XCOM the board game is one.
Oh, nice.
We announced XCOM the board game, I think, a week or so ago. XCOM the board game is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players and takes in the setting of XCOM. All 4 players are members of XCOM's defense force.
Okay, yeah.
And rather than try and recreate the awesome digital board game that is XCOM, right, because it's a beautiful game, we decided to look at the global battle. So every player, it's asymmetric. Every player has a completely separate and integral role in the fight against the alien invaders. There are beautiful sculpts of the UFOs and of the troops that you'll have on the ground. The squad leader controls all the units and troops. The squadron leader takes care of the Air Force. The central officer, the chief scientist deals with researching technology, and the central officer is in charge of the digital app.
Okay.
Because there's an essential component for XCOM the board game is the digital application. It's available for free at launch, and it will run on Android and iOS, PC and Mac, and on the web if you don't have any of those devices. The application, the rulebook is 4 pages.
Oh, nice.
Hey, welcome to XCOM. The back is the board layout, and the inside is a quick intro to setup. Everything else is driven by the AI, and it is much more than just a random generator of effects. It is completely devious. It will respond to your success or failure. As countries go further into panic because of the alien menace, if you are not successfully dealing with them, they will pull funding, so your research team will be losing funding. You'll be struggling against depleted resources and scientists dying as the experiments go awry, and the units being killed on away missions, trying to save your base. Very tense, super cool, but you can play it here. And so that's an example of what we can do at GenCon. We bring things that are not quite finished to share with you because we're excited.
And you get a lot of feedback from people on XCOM?
Well, sure. I mean, what we get is a gut level reaction. Right, the gut level reaction at GenCon is what makes it worth it. So that game is in production and will be out later this year. So there's nothing to consider, there's nothing to change, but to be able to show it off, right, and have people cheering and laughing as like die rolls are going horribly, and they realize how badly they would be serving the planet's needs if ever we were under an alien attack. Like it's really for the fun and just get people to share that experience.
Now, you got some other new stuff.
Got a ton of new stuff, so I'm going to throw another one out there.
All right.
This is a product that, as of a day ago, was not public info. No one even knew this existed except for staff at FFG.
Is this where there's blank holes in the cases?
There were blank holes in the cases. Every hole has been filled with new products. But the one I want to point out, though, is called Star Wars Imperial Assault. It's a giant box. It is exactly twice the height of all of our standard Square games. And inside is a toolbox and a narrative system for Star Wars adventures on your tabletop. So, I believe 30 figures in the box, including a giant AT-ST.
Nice.
Darth Vader is in there. Luke Skywalker is in there. You got squads of stormtroopers. You have bounty hunters, probe droids, Imperial officers, Jedi, all of the Star Wars goodness. It is the core system in Descent, right? Just maps with figures standing in squares, right? Take that core system, use that as the base, and then build on top of it this awesome, immersive, narrative, campaign-driven, mission-based Star Wars board game, miniatures game, right? And that's Imperial Assault. That will be released in early 2015.
Okay.
In addition, there's another rule set in there. Before I go on, it's one Imperial player versus multiple Rebel players.
All right.
So 2 to 4 Rebel players, 1 Imperial player. And the Imperial players' missions are all secret. So there's a ton of interesting discovery and excitement and real, flying by the seat of your pants Star Wars adventures. It is totally awesome. But the second rule book in the box is a set of skirmish rules. So if you don't want to play campaign mode, if you are just want to play a quick game, or really like the competitive element of tabletop minis or like 2-player games, there's a 2-player head-to-head skirmish game using all the same figures.
So Jedi versus Jedi.
You can have Jedi versus Jedi. If you want to go crazy, of course, one is dark side and one is light side. But you build your squads based on point costs, right? There's reference sheets for all of the figures and cards. You build a deck of command cards that are unique to who you've included in your force, and you do that separately, and then you reveal and have at it, scrap it out. Super great. It's something that I, as a Star Wars fan, I was in the theater in '77. I have been waiting for something like this my entire life.
I think we all have. And then with the new movies coming out, got a whole new generation. Look forward to it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And then that's not the only Star Wars news, but we have had so many announcements here. We are demoing so many new games. The Witcher Adventure game is being demoed here and will be released later this year. We've got Star Wars Armada, which is capital ship combat in the Star Wars universe. It's large fleet battles, and it's entirely different system than X-Wing. Very different experience and demands the strategic consideration of a fleet commander. Super cool. We have X-Wing Wave 6.
Oh.
If anyone has played X-Wing, we've announced the next wave of ships, and it is an entire new faction. So we've introduced yesterday at 2 p.m. the Scum and Villainy faction. So in X-Wing from now, once it releases, you can play as a Rebel, as an Imperial, or as a Scum and Villainy player. And then announced and are showing in the case the Virago, or the Star Viper, who's one of the ships. IG-88, who's one of the bounty hunters from Star Wars, if you remember. IG-88's it's IG-2000 is his ship, or its ship. And there's a Hutt-Seek fighter. It's a small M3A interceptor, plus alternate paint Y-Wings and headhunters in a box set called Most Wanted. And in addition to the Y-Wing and the 2 headhunters, it has the punchboard and cards so that your current Slave 1, Y-Wing, and Hawk 290 can play in the Scum and Villainy faction.
Nice.
So super exciting for X-Wing players. It is going to totally change the meta and really shake things up, and get ready for unexpected things.
Now, we have the hall here.
Yeah.
But then also in Hall D, you guys also do, I saw a whole lot of boards for tournaments, right?
Well, we have both tournaments and we have events. So, again, if you haven't been to GenCon, there is the exhibitors hall in which we stand here. This is where we will sell product if you're interested in buying. We will demo endless sea of demo tables and show games to you. But in the event hall, which is open much longer hours, we have a huge area, and not only are we can you buy tickets to play some of these games. So let's say Twilight Imperium is a classic FFG game. You might schedule a 4-hour block or an 8-hour, 6-hour block of Twilight Imperium, not have to carry the box, but just you show up and you can sit down and there's table space, and you sit down and there's someone around who can help if you get stuck in a rule, right? It's just an opportunity to play. But right next to that is our tournament central. We are running our North American championships here for our competitive head-to-head games. So the card games, all the living card games that are competitive, like Star Wars the card game, Android Netrunner, our North American championships are happening all this weekend. X-Wing, those championships are also this weekend. We had over 240 players, I think, all told.
A lot of mistakes were made.
Man, GenCon is filled with gaming experiences of all kinds for all kinds of people. So I love it. It's my favorite time of the year.
All right. Guys, when you come to GenCon, check out Fantasy Flight Games, do a demo.
Why aren't you here?
Yeah. Have fun. I mean, it's the best 4 days of gaming for a reason.
That is truth. We'll see you next year, hopefully, or maybe we've seen you this weekend, and take care.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.
You got it.